Hello, and a very warm welcome to all of you on this wonderful day where we celebrate womanhood and vow to chart a path of progress for humanity where women play a more stellar role than any time before in the history of human race. In order to know where we are, we must know where we have been. Our scriptures offer ample history with pearls of her story as well. Yatra naryastu पूज्यन्ते रमनते तत्र देवता. जिस जगह पर नारी की पूजा होती है अर्थात स्त्रियों का सम्मान किया जाता है वहां पर देवता निवास करते हैं अर्थात उस कुल के सभी कार्य संपन्न हो जाते हैं. A place where a woman is worshipped is the place where gods reside and aspirations get accomplished. But isn't it ironical that a country where the womanhood is spoken about so eloquently witness 20 dowry deaths every day and has seen record feticide? They say that in the last 20 years, there have been more than 9 million. Well, the Vedas are replete with hymns which speak about equal standing both for male and female deities while highlighting the difference in their nature. Timeless role of a man and a woman is to function as two wheels of the same cart, pulling their weight in the distinct ways, but to move forward together. Vedic times depicted women as both Sadhyavadu, one who takes responsibility of family, or there is another one which is Brahmavadini, someone who dedicates her life to the study of Vedas and self-realization. Well, she could do both. She had the freedom and discretion to do both. But somewhere along the way, though, the Sadhyavadu took over Brahmavadini. We took over more of family care and health care and taking care of our homes. But on many occasions, there are a few women who have demonstrated this ability to challenge the status quo or simply lead the way with elegance and humility. These courageous women who have defied odds need to be celebrated with swerve and nerve. Today, we have among us one such woman, a woman who is heady and elusive blend of Brahmavadini and Sadhyavadu. Let me introduce you today our guest of honor, Mrin Agrawal, who is all about creating this awareness on financial health for women, helping women take control of their finances. And she's among us one of the top financial advisors in India with over 2 decades or maybe 3 decades of industry experience. She comes with a rich work history by working with many big banks like Citibank, Deutsche Bank, and many more before she started her own multi-family office. Her expertise is about getting women empowered, especially on finances. So let's hear it directly from her. Mrin, tell us about you, tell us about your story and what made you quit this corporate life and start your own, get on this mission.
Thank you, Rashmi, and thank you, Access Mutual Fund, for having me here. And happy Women's Day to everybody out here. And it's just so great to be here today on the occasion of Women's Day, talking about women and money. I was an investment advisor and handled a lot of investments. Throughout my journey as an investment advisor, I only had male clients, and then I saw that women were typically not involved in managing money, and they would not come for meetings and stuff like that. So this led me to wanting to do more in this space where I could look at educating women on how they could manage their money better. So it was a small start where we just tried it out, and then when we actually tried it out, and what we did was that I always felt that if one can educate the educated people first, it has a bigger impact because they can impact a lot of other people around them as well, their children, maybe their health as well. Right. So we tried it out. And what we did was that we approached various corporates and started doing some sessions there. And then everybody said, well, why only for the women? Why not for the men? Because they need it as much. And so that's what I did. So at one point, I closed my financial advisory practice and got full-fledged into financial literacy. I was able to do it because I was financially independent and I self-funded the company myself. And touch wood, it's been 8 years now, and the company is profitable for the last 3 years. So touch wood, it did work out. A lot of people felt that, that financial literacy is not something that you can run as a social enterprise, but yes, it did work out.
Great, nice. I hope that it grows as bigger as that can get, and you touch as many lives as you can. Guys, I should tell you that she has touched over like 2 lakh lives so far, creating this financial awareness, helping them plan their finances also. You talked about why women would not turn up for meetings, and there were like more men than women who would turn up for this meeting and asking for your advice. So, what do you think? What were those biggest financial challenges that women faced, and how do you think they can overcome those?
I think it's just the way that we are attuned to thinking that this is something that men do. Right from childhood onwards, most households do not see women managing money. It's not a topic that's spoken about at home. In fact, money is a taboo topic, right? In most households, you don't learn about it in school, you don't learn about it in college, and you just end up believing that, okay, this is something that the men do better and I cannot do it. So I think what really needs to change in this, and while I would like to say it'll be great to see it in school and college curriculum, but while we wait for that to happen, I think for women, they have to realize that this is such an important aspect of their life. And it's an aspect that you can't do without in your life, right? You need money for everything. And the way I look at it, that for a woman, who is juggling so many responsibilities, having more money actually means getting more time or getting some conveniences for herself, like maybe getting extra help and stuff like that, so that you have more time to pursue what you want to do. So I think it's all about saying that this is very important to me, and I need to look at this as much as I look at my physical health or my mental well-being as well.
Right, right. You're absolutely, absolutely right. So, where does it exactly go? Is it the mindset, or are there any financial misconceptions that we talk about that women have, and why don't they get into more of these discussions on finances? Like, why are there only men that turn up? Are there any misconceptions or some mindset issues that we can highlight here, which we can also you can help us erase those?
So of course, a lot of this means that there's lack of confidence, lack of knowledge, of course. And somewhere women are also very scared of being judged if they take this up. It's like something new that you're taking up. And more often than not, I have seen this in my own circles that you get judged a lot in case if you make some losses and stuff like that. So I think it's a combination of things that's basically playing out here. And honestly, what can be done about it? Well, you have to believe in yourself, right? You have to obviously acquire some amount of knowledge, and you shouldn't be scared of making these particular losses. So I think it's a combination of these three things put together. I also feel that somewhere financial well-being is not something that is considered as very trending or very happening, right? I mean, if you look at physical wellness today, there
Yeah.
is so much that you read. Every year there is some new diet that's coming out, and you have celebrities talking about it. Similarly, with mental well-being, you have a lot of celebrities talking about it. Somewhere, financial well-being hasn't reached that status yet where, you have celebrities across the world talking about the importance of it. So I think that's another trigger that's really required for, to get women involved in this more.
Right, absolutely right. And I believe that just like you, Mrin, there are so many also other women who have come together trying to create this awareness. And, if there are, some positive impact that we are creating, and if there is some positive hand that people actually bring forward and try to do something. So where do you see this going? What do you think is your vision of, the future of women and their financial health? And what do you think about the role that women will play in shaping the financial industry in the coming years?
I think women have a very important role to play. because from my conversations with a whole range of women across the board, what I find is that women investors are happier speaking to women advisors, because they, one, they feel that they're not being talked down upon. Secondly, women advisors tend to be more empathetic than probably male advisors are. And I know it's a bit of a generalization that I'm doing out here. It may not necessarily be true, but this is what I've been told by people. So I think, from what I see, net, women investors, they prefer women advisors. And, I just said this recently at another forum that I think uh, being a woman advisor, one, it's a great profession, right? Because you're helping other people's life get better. And, women being more empathetic also and having higher EQ, I think they're also able to kind of connect with people's life goals better, because personal finance is 80% behavior and 20% the product, right? So I think it would be great to see more and more women coming into the industry, and also great to see all the stakeholders trying to promote more women financial planners.
Oh, yes, absolutely. And I see that there are a lot of women financial advisors who are now coming up, and they're starting their own family offices as well, helping many other women doing that. And this entire topic of diversity and equity inclusion has also blown up a lot, not just like not just globally, but now has also started reaping its things in India as well. But there is one aspect which affects all, and that is technology. Uh, and technology has a huge role to play. Everything is going digital. And I'm sure that advisors are also on top of the game now and trying to give best of the best services to their clients in terms of investment, financial planning, and other, specifically on personal finances, where everything is convenient on the fingertips. So, how do you think this technology is changing the way women approach financial planning and investing?
Well, I think technology is a great enabler, and how you can use technology is, of course, for your transactions, monitoring your portfolios, for example, and also you can use technology, for acquiring more knowledge as well, right? But one element that is always going to be required is going to be the human element, where uh, women have a financial advisor to basically talk to, right? That part cannot be replaced by technology. So I think, what, honestly, if you ask me, I think both are complementing each other today, because there's one part of it that you do with the advisor, and there's another part of it for which you use the technology. So I think it's certainly important to have technology, and make it easier for people to invest. And it's already quite easy from what I see. I mean, I myself use technology to invest directly on the websites of mutual funds or various other platforms, right? But you still need that human element, you still need that person to talk to.
Absolutely right. So it has to be a combination of both technology and the personal touch. And specifically when it comes to women, like you said, there is a good balance of IQ and EQ in women, and they will be able to connect with their clients much better. Uh, but there is one thing that you mentioned about is the human touch, right? The personal. So there are some traits that women carry, which is more unique to women, right? So could you highlight on any of those important traits that women need to have if they want to be financially successful?
I think they already have them, in the sense that women tend to do a lot more research. They tend to research a product much more before investing. They tend to remain invested for the long term. They don't like to keep churning portfolios. So I think they already have all of these traits. I think what is really missing is the call to action. So the fear of making losses is still holding a lot of women back, and that is what they really need to work on. See, in any aspect of your life, there is going to be risk. Everything is not going to go the right way. So the same applies for your money management as well. There'll be good times, there'll be bad times as well. And, it's all about how you deal with all of these times that will basically pull you through.
Right, right. You're absolutely right. So women are, I think, better researchers because if you buy anything. So I looked at some 10 saris before I bought this one. So I'm sure there are there are women who look at many more, and this is not just about sari, but absolutely anything, which school to send your kid to. You do a lot of research, right? So mostly in at home also, teaching kids is mostly mother's job, whereas actually the work and the money that brings in is the man of the family, right? So, and we still see that women are not inclined towards financial planning, which is kind of sad to see, but we definitely see some improvement and progress happening towards that. But nonetheless, there is definitely something that women is going through at every point in time. Any particular woman is in an act of balance. She's always balancing, whether she's a working woman, she is a homemaker, or anybody. She is always balancing her work, life, and everything in between, and she has all the responsibilities. So how can women balance their desires of financial independence? Of course, everybody is looking for this financial independence, specifically after the term that has got very famous, uh, especially when they have these other responsibilities and priorities, such as their family, their own career, their kids' career, their child care, and they have elderly care at home. How do they find this space, gap, some mind space to think about finances?
I think if it's important to you, you'll do it. Like, for example, physical health, right? I mean, irrespective of all the responsibilities that you have, you do find time to exercise, right? So I think, you will find the time if you attach a lot of importance to it, basically, right? And I think that's what is really missing. Now, in terms of, how much time do you need to basically attach to this also, right? So, it's all about at one time doing your financial plan. Yes, doing a financial plan might take some time at the beginning, but I think, once you have this financial plan in place, then it's just about looking at it maybe once a quarter or once in 6 months and reviewing it once a year, right? So it's that initial thing. If you put an initial financial plan in place, then it's just about the regular monitoring, and then you're not spending that much time. Plus, if you can take formal financial advice from a fee only financial planner, that also can help you in a big way, because the financial planner can, basically guide you and handhold you through the different times.
Yeah, absolutely. Specifically, when you're not spending a lot of time reading, thinking, and talking about finances, then it is better to take an advice from a professional financial advisor. Absolutely right. But there is something where women spend most of their time, and that is shopping. And there's a lot of consumerism that you can see in women more than men. So how do you, what suggestion do you have? What advice do you have for women who have, who spend so much time on spending? Are there any spending tricks or special tips from your side there, when how they can find out where to spend, where not to spend, how much to spend, how to spend, and when to spend? So what's your take on that?
So, I think there's nothing wrong in spending as long as it's done in a balance. And I think that's again true to every aspect of our life, right? Like, everything that you do in excess never works out, but everything that you do in a balance works out. So, as far as spending is concerned, normally I suggest the 30-30-40 rule, which is 30% expenses, 30% EMIs, and 40% savings, right? Now, within that 30% that you're keeping for expenses, obviously you're going to have essential expenses and non-essential expenses as well. So I would say like 10 to 15% of your salary in a month, if you're spending on, yourself, your fun expenses, it's fine. And also there'll be months in which you could be spending more, and that is also fine, honestly. As long as, it at an overall level in a year, you're kind of averaging it out. So some months you spend more, some months you spend less. Now, if you find this 30-30-40 rule very difficult to follow, the other thing that you can do is that once your salary comes in, you move out whatever you need for investments and for all your essential expenses. And then whatever is left over, is money that you have to spend for yourself. So these are two ways that you can actually plan the spending. Obviously, you need to have a balance in it, and some amount of, self control is always helpful in all aspects of life, right?
Right. So they say that there's a formula where they say that earnings minus spending is what you invest. But actually, we reverse it and say that, as per your advice, it should be earnings and then set aside some money for investments, and whatever's left is what you spend. And then your mind is also very much free to spend, right? So because you
Yeah.
know that you've your good chunk of your money is gone for good, and it is staying there and it is growing, and now I have this money to spend, so I can more happily spend on myself or whatever I want to do. Definitely. So I need to go back and check how much percentage of my salary do I spend. Right. So great, Rin, a lot of learnings to get from you. And I know that this particular one talk show is not going to be enough to learn more from you and to hear you out. But one, I want to go back to your story, and I want to know how you started. Is it like, do you did you like overnight you thought that you wanted to do something like this, or did you face any challenge that brought you to the point where, okay, I need to work something on this? And did you got women together and started a company, or like just a little bit to know how you started?
Yeah, so as I said, there was this thought in my mind always that why is it that women are not involved? And can I do something? And can I do something better? Like, typically most of the clients that I was managing were ultra high net worth individuals. And I just felt that if I can, make an impact on people's lives so that they can have a better financial life, and especially women, I just felt that I could make give back to society that way. So that was the initial starting thought of it. And as I got into it, the gap that I saw in the financial literacy levels really got me to get more involved in this. So I do want to say that at the beginning it was extremely tough. The first 2 3 years were very tough, and I have a lot of parallels to running this company, to how we basically manage our money, right? So while I self-funded the company, what happened is that what we did was that we kept the cost really low. I mean, essentially, at the end of the day, it's like a training company, right? So the whole idea was to build a model where the business pays for itself, right? And the idea was to keep the costs low so that you are not making operating losses. And I would say that the parallel to that with money management would be, don't go overboard on your expenses, or don't go overboard on your loans, because if you do that, then you're not going to have enough, right, to manage for the future, right? And again, there was a lot of people judging, saying that you've moved out from a financial advisory practice to do this. Why is it that you're doing it? A lot of people looking down on you and stuff like that. And again, my parallel to money management there would be to say that there's always going to be peer pressure, right? There's always going to be, you're always going to see other people doing better than you, probably. And that's there even in our personal lives as well, in terms of what are the type of assets that we own, or whatever material stuff that we own. But the idea is not to give in into the peer pressure, right? And the third thing that I would like to share was perseverance. So I think what pulled us through was, of course, I mean, I did have an all women team who were aligned with the vision. So again, that's like having your entire family aligned with your vision. But I think what pulled us through was the perseverance. So I can say this very openly that the first 2 3 years were terrible, but I think we just persisted out there. And again, the parallel to money management there would be remaining invested, because when you actually remain invested for the long term is when you actually make the returns, right?
Right.
So I see a lot of parallels to this journey, of running this particular company with money management. And I think it's good that I was able to use my financial independence to set up the company
Yeah.
and make it profitable as well, and have a all women team.
Oh, great. So you have a company that you started, which is profitable, which is all women driving a mission to create this financial awareness. It's amazing. It's like somebody to look up to now, to for our not just finances, but to fight against all the peer pressure. And this is not specific or unique, I must say, where people say that the first 2 3 years of business was difficult and struggle, and there was a lot of stress, and we needed to stick by the mission and vision. So what made you, what drove that perseverance and positivity in you? Was it you were like, just had the mission in front of you? Was it the women coming together, and was it the impact that you created that kept you driving towards it? Could you highlight one of the instances which was most satisfying for you, that you saw that impact and that kept you going?
Yeah, I think what kept us going was the fact that we believed that this is going to work, right? And one more thing, I just want to say this, that I when I started this, my intent was not to build like some unicorn or some very big company, right? My intent was really running a social enterprise for profit and to create a social impact. And to be honest with you, it's not that we didn't have targets and all, we had all of those things, but the driving factor was not money, right? The driving factor was to make the impact. And I
Yes.
can tell you, when we hear of when we do our sessions, we have people coming back and people saying, I attended your last session, and after that, I actually did this and it actually worked. So I'll tell you one instance that happened. There was a person who attended our session in 2016. And in 2018, when we went to another company to do the session, he was there and he actually got up at the beginning of the session and said, folks, please listen very carefully because I did everything that they told me in 2016. And I can tell you I'm in a much better spot now,
Fantastic.
2 year hence. So, it's these very small things, honestly, that really give us, the enthusiasm to take things further.
Yes, exactly. And that is what will drive, right? The testimonies will only keep you going and keep doing whatever you are doing. And this is what will help you fight the peer pressure as well, right? Great. Amazing story, Bryn. Great. But now what we can do, we'll move to the next section of our talk today. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw some questions at you like a Karan Johar rapid fire. And let's see
Okay.
what we get to hear from you. So I will start with my questions and I want you to answer very quickly whatever comes to your mind first, right? Okay, let's start. So, what is your favorite personal finance book, a blog, and a podcast? Which one do you love and which one do you recommend?
I love Psychology of Money because it's everything I've done in my life. Uh, Blog would be my blog on YouTube.
Oh, nice. Do you have any mentor? If yes, who?
No, I don't have a mentor.
So, you follow your instincts.
I follow my instinct. Yeah.
Perfect. If you had $1 million to spend in one day, what would you buy?
Okay.
Let's hear it from the financial advisor.
I would go and buy everything that I've been wanting, like, for example, a Birkin bag and a Jimmy Choo and everything, that all of these things which look otherwise very difficult to buy.
Yes. Provided you are financially free on the other side, creating a
Yeah.
lot of passive
Yeah.
income, right?
Yeah.
Yes. What is your go-to source for your financial news? What's happening in the market? Is
Oh,
it
I love reading Mint and Money Control. I think, between both of them, I get enough news and good
yeah?
articles.
And also not too many to stay away from the noise, little bit. Yeah. Just to add to the long-term investing, it is better to stay away from the noise and keep at it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, I remember your talk about how you make the first step of financial planning, perfectly made foundation basis, and then you move ahead with monitoring over a 6 month or 12-month basis.
Yeah.
So now I can connect the dots. Thank you. So next question, if now that we talked about technology, if you could only use one financial app or a tool for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Well, I'll be honest, for mutual fund investing, it would be MF Central. I'm already using it. So yeah, I would say it's that.
Okay, all right. What is the best way to splurge on yourself without feeling guilty?
There have been times when I have planned to plan for these particular splurges. And sometimes when you just do the splurges, you just don't feel bad because honestly, you're working hard. So it's okay to splurge sometimes.
Okay, so you work and then you splurge. All right. What is that one financial term or concept that you wish more women understood?
Financial planning.
Planning. So while we say that women are inherent financial planners, but not financial planners, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And that is the job that you are doing to spread this awareness. Great. Which is that one financial goal that you are working on right now?
Actually, not a financial goal, but I'm trying to work on a goal right now, because I mean I don't really have many financial goals to work on at this point. But I'm just trying to work on a goal to make my life more meaningful and to try and spend my time more meaningfully. And towards that, I'm trying to get involved in some social projects pro bono, basically. So I've been trying to figure that piece out.
Right. Thank you for giving me the cue. The next question is, what is your favorite way to give back to your community?
I'm
Apart from
already doing
financial
it, right?
literacy. Apart from financial literacy.
I'm already doing it. And as I said, I'm trying to find something else where I can get actively involved.
Nice. All right. If you could have lunch with any woman, living or dead, who would it be and why?
Oh, I think there'll be a lot of women that I would want to have lunch with. I think, within the financial industry, we've got so many women to look up to. Arundhati Bhattacharya, the
Yeah.
SEBI chairperson, right?
Okay.
So I think, I would certainly love to meet them.
Oh, great. So you would want to stick to the finance domain.
Yeah, of course.
Yes. What is your personal mantra when it comes to financial health and wellness?
Have the balance. I think, that helps.
Balance helps.
Have the
Okay.
balance. And the second thing is, of course, which I would like to say to all women is, take equity exposure, because I do find that women generally stay shy away from risky investments. But I think if you believe in the India story, then I think it's really important to have some equities in your portfolio. And there are such easy ways to have it as well. So, and I've been saying this a lot right now for all women.
Okay. If you could have any superpower, any one superpower to help you with financial planning, what would it be?
I don't know, honestly. One superpower that could help you with financial
A
planning.
magic wand that swoops get women to understand financial planning better, because that's the one that
Yeah.
was lacking, you said.
Yeah. I just, yeah, I think I wish there would be some big celebrity, woman icon who could, come and talk about the need for financial planning.
Okay. Yeah. More than the other consumer products, I think we need more celebrities talking about
Yeah.
finances.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely nice. I would think about a superpower that you become a celebrity and you talk about it. You're already talking about
Yeah, but
it.
no. You need like, a real big celebrity to talk about this.
Yeah.
And only then, like it happened in the case of mental well-being, where you had a very large celebrity talking about it. And that's when
Yeah.
people did start taking it more seriously.
Absolutely, absolutely. If last question, if you could go back in time and give your younger self one piece of advice, one piece of financial advice, what would it be?
I would have actually tried to increase my investment every year with the increase in the salary, because that's one
Right.
money mistake which I did, where I did not increase my investments with increase in income.
Okay, interesting. Great. That's the end of the rapid fire. But I will not let you go before this one last question, where I want to take this cue from your discussion where you talked about there is mindset, there is understanding in women to do what needs to be done, but there is lack of call to action. So from you, I want to hear what are those first three steps that any woman should take if they want to start their financial planning today, or like right now, if they want to do it. What are those first three steps?
So, well, as I said, you need to have a financial plan, but in the absence of the financial plan, because you will need professional financial advice for it, right? But let's say you have some amount of money that you want to invest, right? The first thing you need to do, the first step is to ask yourself, what is this money for? What is the goal for this money? Or how long can I keep this investment on, right? And based on that, you basically decide. So typically, if your investment is like, let's say 7 years, 7 to 10 years and above, you can also look at equities. Obviously, if it's short term in nature, you will have to look at more debt oriented products. So first question is always to identify how long I can hold the investment. Second is, once you've identified the product that you're going with, based on that period of holding, is to basically figure out through where am I going to invest, right? So you have your bank account, you have various online platforms, you have the manufacturer websites where you can do it directly as well. You have to figure out what really works for you. And the third and final thing is to basically, without thinking, go and invest. There is no good time to invest. Don't wait. Just go and invest that money and remain invested.
Okay. So great. So the step one is find out the tenure that you want to invest for the particular goal that you have in mind. Then find out or identify the channel or medium through which you want to invest. And the third one, just do it. Right? Yeah. And don't forget to go to financial advisor like Mrin, who has loads and loads of understanding, history and background and expertise to give you a good advice for you to stay invested, remain invested, and be profitable, just like her company. All right. Thank you, Mrin. That was great to have you around to talk to you, learn about you, a lot of new concepts, a lot of older concepts with new covering to it. Nice talk. And also, I hope that our viewers are taking down notes. If they've learned a lot, they know what action to take now. And uh, definitely, we will have you back sometime again. And all the viewers, women and money, they cannot be separate. You are already planners, and we wish that you also become financial planners. And with that hope and positive thought, let's end this talk today. Thank you, Mirin, again for coming to talk to us on our platform and enriching us with a lot of insights and learnings. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Rashmi.
Thank you. And a happy Women's Day to you again. A happy Women's Day to everyone who's watching.
Yes, very happy Women's Day to everybody.
Thank you.
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.